Be me, 26, decent-looking dude, not a model but not ugly. Work in an office with about 40 people. Split roughly half men half women. Company has a new diversity hire policy. Every new team lead must be a woman, management announces, is proudly in all hands. Everyone claps, I clap too because what else do I do? New team lead gets assigned to my department. Her name is Rachel, fresh out of a master's program. Zero industry experience, extremely confident about this. First meeting she restructures the entire workflow, nobody asked, but here we are. She presents it as dismantling legacy systems of male gatekeeping. The legacy system was just a spreadsheet Dave built in 2019. Dave has been here 11 years, Dave nods politely, I nod politely. We are professional nodders. Week 2. Rachel schedules a team bonding session. Mandatory attendance is on a Saturday. I have my nephew's birthday party. I send a polite email explaining this. She replies all. Interesting how family suddenly becomes a priority, and leadership asks for commitment. Entire office sees this. I stare at my screen for a full minute. Dave messages me privately. Welcome to the New World Order. I send him a thumbs up emoji. We never speak of it again. Week 3. Project deadline coming up. I finish my section 2 days early, send it to Rachel for review. She does not respond for 4 days. Deadline passes. Client is upset. Rachel explains in the post-mortem that the team lacked collaborative energy. She means me specifically. I have emails proving I submitted on time. I say nothing. HR calls me in. I bring the emails. HR lady looks at them, looks at me, looks at them again. Says this is a sensitive situation. I ask what is sensitive about timestamps. She says I'm being combative. I go back to my desk. Dave is eating a sandwich. He does not look up. How did it go? I sit down slowly. I am being combative apparently. He takes another bite. Yeah, that tracks. Month 2. Rachel gets praised in a company newsletter. Transformational leadership in action. The project we botched is not mentioned. The client we lost is not mentioned. There is a photo of her smiling in front of a whiteboard. The whiteboard says empowerment. I read this newsletter twice. I feel something shifting in my chest. Not anger exactly. More like the feeling when you realize the game was rigged before you sat down. That evening I go home. My roommate is watching a dating show. I sit next to him. He asks how work is. I say fine. He nods. We watch women eliminate men for not being emotionally available enough. The host calls it empowering. I eat cereal. Next day at work. New company initiative, unconscious bias training. Mandatory for all male employees. Women are invited but not required. The invite email says this directly. I read it 3 times to make sure I am not misreading. I am not misreading. The training is 4 hours long. It is held in the conference room with the broken AC. There are 12 of us, all men, all sitting in the heat, learning about our unconscious biases. The trainer is a woman named Sandra. She has a very calming voice. She tells us that men often dominate conversations without realizing. She then speaks for 3.5 hours without stopping. I think about this. There is a slide that says listen more, speak less. Sandra explains this slide for 20 minutes. Dave raises his hand. Asks if women have unconscious biases too. Sandra smiles. That is a great deflection tactic, Dave. Dave lowers his hand, writes something in his notebook. I lean over slightly. It just says wow. After training, we get certificates. Mine says I completed unconscious bias awareness level 1. I put it on my desk. Rachel walks by. Says good first step. I say thank you. I do not know what else to say. Weekend. I meet my friend Marco for coffee. Marco works in construction, different world entirely. I tell him about the training. He stirs his coffee. So they trained you for being a man. I say kind of yeah. He stares out the window. Wild. We sit quietly for a bit. Do women get trained for being women? I say they are invited but not required. He stirs his coffee again. Wild. Marco is a man of few words. But they are the right words. Back at work. Rachel announces a new project. Big client, big budget. She assigns roles. The interesting creative work goes to the women on the team. The logistical back-end work goes to the men. I am assigned to coordination and support, which means I send emails and book rooms. I have 7 years of creative project experience. I say nothing. Dave gets assigned data entry. Dave built the entire client database from scratch 4 years ago. Dave says nothing neither. We have become a very quiet team of men. I start noticing things, like how Rachel presents the team's work to leadership, using I for the good outcomes and the team for the mistakes. Leadership loves her. She is a rising star. The newsletter says so again. I mentioned this to my friend Priya. Priya is a woman, works in finance. She listens carefully, then says, okay, but you know this happens to women all the time, right? I say, yes, I know. She says, so maybe now you get it. I sit with that for a second. I do get it. But does two wrongs make a right? Priya shrugs. No, but it makes it even. I think about this for 3 days. Month 3. Dave puts in his resignation. 11 years at this company, just done. Rachel sends a team email, wishing Dave well on his next adventure. There is no farewell party. There is no card. Dave cleans his desk in 40 minutes. I walk him to the elevator. He shakes my hand. Do not let them make you invisible. I nod. Elevator closes. I stand there for a while. That night I write a long journal entry about fairness, about what fairness actually means. Whether fairness means equality of treatment or equality of outcome, I do not reach a conclusion. I go to sleep. Next morning, someone posts in the company Slack an article about gender pay gaps. Lots of comments, women sharing experiences. Men mostly quiet. One guy named Tim writes, but what about male suicide rates? Someone calls Tim fragile. Tim deletes his comment. Tim looks at his screen for the rest of the day. I look at mine. I want to write something measure and honest, about how maybe all of this is more complicated than a single narrative. I type it out, read it back, delete it, type it again, delete it again. Close the laptop. It is not that I am wrong. It is that being right in the wrong room costs you things you cannot get back. Priya messages me privately. You were going to say something, weren't you? Yes. Good thing you didn't. Is it though? Long pause. Yeah, probably. I stare at the ceiling. Week after that, new hire joins the team. Guy named Ben, 23 years old. Fresh out of undergrad. Very enthusiastic. Has opinions about everything. Ben does not know the unwritten rules yet. Ben speaks in meetings. Ben challenges ideas. Ben asks why we do things certain ways. We all watch Ben with a mixture of respect and dread. Rachel actually engages with Ben. She likes his energy, she says. I watch this with complicated feelings. Is it because he is young and unthreatening? Is it because he is genuinely good? Is it because he does not carry 11 years of quiet resentment like I do? Probably a mix of all three. Ben comes to me after a meeting. Hey man, why do you never say anything? I think about how to answer this. Experience. He tilts his head. Experience made you quiet. Experience showed me the cost of being loud. He thinks about this. That seems like a bad trade. Maybe he is right. Maybe I have been losing something different than I realized. I go home. I call my dad. He worked in a factory for 30 years. I tell him about the job. He listens, says, son, men have always had to prove ourselves. It used to be with our backs. Now it is with our mouths. I ask if that is better. Long pause. Different kind of hard. My dad is not a complicated man. But sometimes simple men say the truest things. Week later, Rachel assigns me lead on a small internal project. Unexpected. I do not know what to make of it. Maybe she noticed. Maybe Ben said something. Maybe she is just being strategic. I take the project. I work hard on it. Actually hard, not just visible hard. I include everyone's input. One credit people by name in the documentation. I present it clearly and without theatrics. Leadership likes it. Rachel tells me good job in front of the team. It is the first time she has done this. I say thank you. It is genuine. Den gives me a thumbs up from across the room. Dave is not here to see it. I wish he was. After work I sit in my car for a bit, thinking about all of it. The bias training, the newsletter, the Saturday meeting. Dave's handshake, Priya's shrug, Ben's question, my dad's voice. I think about Rachel too. She probably had to fight harder than I know to get here. She probably got talked over in rooms I never saw. She probably got told she was too emotional or too aggressive. And now she runs a team and maybe swings too hard the other way. Or maybe this is just what power looks like regardless of gender. Maybe power is just power, and people protect it the same way no matter who holds it. I do not know if that makes it okay. I do not know if understanding something means forgiving it. I do not know if I am supposed to just absorb all of this quietly, or if absorbing it quietly is its own kind of failure. I start the car, drive home. My roommate is watching another dating show. This time the men are competing. The woman eliminates a guy for being too agreeable. The host says she knows what she wants. Studio audience applauds. I sit down. My roommate hands me a snack without looking. How was work? Complicated. Same. We watch the show. A guy on screen says he just wants to be appreciated. The woman says that is a red flag. The host nods seriously. I eat my snack. Next morning, Ben is already at his desk when I arrive. He has written a list of process improvements on a sticky note. I look at it. Some of them are genuinely good. One of them would cause a compliance issue. I point this out quietly. He takes notes, thanks me. I sit at my desk, open my laptop. The company Slack is active already. Someone posted a new article. This one about how men are falling behind in universities. The comments are already a mess. I close the tab. Rachel walks in, says good morning to the room. Room says good morning back. She stops at my desk. I have another project, bigger this time. Interested? I look at her. She looks at me. I think about Dave. I think about the emails with timestamps. I think about Ben asking why I am quiet. I think about my dad saying different kind of heart. Yes. She nods, walks to her office. I open a new document, start planning. Dan rolls his chair over slightly. What did she give you? Infrastructure redesign. That is the big one. Yes. You nervous? I think about it honestly. Yeah. Good, he says, means it matters. I type the project title at the top of the page. The office fills up around me. People arriving, coffee, keyboards, normal morning sounds. I do not know if anything is fixed. I do not know if fairness is coming, or if it is already here, or if it was never the point. I do not know if Rachel will credit me properly or not. I do not know if the game is rigged, or if I just need to learn new rules. I do not know if being a man right now means something different than it used to, or if it always meant this and nobody said so. I just know I have a project, and Dave told me not to become invisible. And Ben thinks it matters that I am nervous. And my dad said it is a different kind of hard. And Tria shrugged and said it makes it even, and maybe even is not the same as fair. But maybe it is where we are. I start typing. The office hums around me. Nobody is a villain. Nobody is a hero. We are all just people, trying to win a game, whose rules keep changing, and nobody gave us the updated manual. And somehow, we have to figure it out anyway.